Hey, namaste, this is Sacredowl with another chapter of Real Talk by Sacredowl. Today I want to share with you some of the mistakes I made in prior relationships that I would like to suggest that you avoid so that you can have a good relationship and maintain that love that you may have with that person that you're either married to, living with, or just dating. In my past, I've been married a few times, and I've had a couple of serious relationships, and it's only been recently in the last 10 years that I've really learned what it takes to have a good relationship. And so some of these things I avoid doing now, and I find that my relationship is really working very, very well. Well, the number one thing you want to avoid doing in a relationship is having lack of communication. It's a very common mistake people do in relationships is not be able to communicate with each other, therefore causing a misunderstanding and a lot of room for conclusion jumping and assumption making. And when you you put yourself in a position to properly speak or communicate with your partner, whether male or female, then what you're doing is that you're leaving too much left for the imagination. And then if it gets heated or it gets emotional, then the relationship now, right there at that moment, is becoming a relationship based on emotions and not complete understanding and logic. See, couples who don't communicate with each other can end up piling up on their frustrations and resentments. And when these aren't expressed, then it could damage the relationship far more than cheating. So really be careful about that. Remember, there's an old scripture that says never go to bed angry at a person, because the next day you wake up and you don't remember what you're still angry, but you don't remember what you're angry about. It's really important to try to do that. And if you do have to go to bed annoyed and you really don't want to talk about it, then write down what bothered you, so when you and your partner get together, at least you can discuss it and get that out in the open. Because see, lack of communication then leads to the next thing, lack of trust. When a couple starts to hide things from each other, their emotions, their feelings, the truth, then what happens is that intuitively you both are connected. So you're now starting to wonder, what are you hiding? What are you doing? And when you get that feeling, then you start to say, is he doing something wrong? Is she doing something wrong? Why is she hiding this? Why is she doing that? And let me tell you something. It's really a common problem among couples because they tend to keep secrets from each other, away from each other, and whoo, big problem then. You know, and the next thing it leads to is that when you're disagreeing with each other, now the one thing women and men like to do is that they're going to withhold their affections and intimacy from each other. All I got to say is, are you crazy? Yeah, you may not be in the mood, that's fine. You may not want to be bothered that night, that's fine. But to purposely hold it back because you want to teach a lesson, or you're angry at that person and you say, oh, well, I'm not going to give you anything, or I'm not going to share anything with you, that's intentional and that's malicious. And it's actually quite controlling. And when you do that, you really are now setting a tone for backbiting and what can I do to top that, and what can you do to top that? And let me tell you something, it's a horrible thing when you get to that point, because when you get to that point from abstaining without physical or emotional connections, couples tend to lose slowly all the important aspects of a relationship, such as love, trust, and respect. And when you do that, now that partner or that person that needs the affection, that needs the love, is going to start to wander and start to wonder where they can get that's being taken from them. So don't do that. Now listen, another thing that you don't want to do and avoid in a relationship is giving up on the relationship. Don't give up on the relationship. Try your best to work it out. They may be complicated at times, but just don't give up on the relationship, because you guys have been together, you guys fell in love, there was something about each other that you were attracted to, and if you give up on that relationship, then it's going to be a problem. Listen, all relationships require compromise. You got to meet in the middle sometimes, and if that means the husband does it, or the wife does it, or the partner does it, and the other partner does it, meet in the middle so that way you can do that. Now, another thing you want to truly avoid doing is staying in a relationship for the convenience of it, or staying in a relationship for the children, or staying there. Because remember, when you stay in a relationship for the sake of the children, you are teaching the children that it's okay to be in a loveless or stress-related relationship, and you're teaching them to grow up and do the same thing. You don't want your kids to grow up in a loveless marriage or an not intimate marriage or non-trusting relationship, because then you're teaching them through your actions that it's okay to just pick any Tom, Dick, or woman or man or whatever that's out there and have a relationship with them and stick it on because you just said so. Another thing you want to avoid is taking each other for granted. Taking each other for granted means that you know everybody has needs, and if there's a person that has a goal and a need, get in there and help them get that goal. Get in there and help your partner find out what it is that they need to know and what it is that they need to feel, so that they can feel fulfilled and complete. And if you do avoid a lot of these things, you're probably going to have a very good relationship and finally do things that are going to be very successful in your life. But remember, truth and honesty are the most important thing, and most of all, appreciate what your partner is and what they have to offer. I hope this helps you. I love all of you. Namaste.